Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I'll be. Good, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again. Instant classic in the making. Like, subscribe, notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Dice content. Everything you should need to know about me shall be listed in the links in the description area below. Who gets the better deal in the Philippines? I think this is a question that has come up quite often in just talking about it out loud. Everybody wants to talk about the pros and cons of being a foreigner in the Philippines, pros and cons of being specifically a black foreigner in the Philippines, a white foreigner in the Philippines, and other foreigner in the Philippines. This conversation comes up a little bit. We all know that overall, you can generally have your fill and your fun in the Philippines. As they say, ladies and gentlemen, it's more fun in the Philippines, right? They ain't forgot that phrase, man, and they still try to hold on to that moniker, even though right now the Philippines isn't very much fun. But when they do start to get back to business, I do believe that the Philippines will start to become fun again. But the question that has been asked is, who gets the better deal in the Philippines? Is it the black guy, the white guy, the other guy? Today, we're going to take a moment to discuss that. Again, make sure you drop a like. Let's go ahead and lock in. Start with the white guy. First of all, stop. Let's talk about what do I mean by the better deal. Basically, who does not have to come out of pocket the most in order to get a Filipino? Now, there are gonna be your red pill guys in the background talking about, oh, I ain't paying for no punam, bitch. I got it like that. Them hoes need to fall in line. This, that, and the other. Gotcha. Okay, you're gonna have some guys who feel like they never pay for anything. I do believe that's a lie. If you buy a Jollibee meal, if you go to Mungan, out, you're paying, bitch. Let's be real. But you have a lot of guys who say they ain't paying, or they ain't doing this or that. But ultimately, we're gonna lock in on the better deal being the person who would probably have to pay the least to get with a Filipino. And I'm not just talking about hooking up with them or prostitutes or anything like that, but we can also throw that in the mix as well if we choose to. So let's start with the white dudes. I have always thought that my Caucasian brethren had it worse in the Philippines. And a lot of people be like, Doc, man, all the Filipinos want them. All the Filipinos want the white boys. Why you think they got it worse in the Philippines? So glad you asked. The white guy, in my personal opinion, love y'all, don't get it twisted, but y'all are considered the pinnacle, right? To an extent, y'all are considered the top of the heap, right? I get me a white American, blonde hair, blue eyes, some of them a bitch. I done made it in this bitch. Most Filipinos think that. But with that thought process, ladies and gentlemen, comes the fact that they believe that you have money. You understand? They believe you got money. Like, that's the automatic assumption. Remember the video we talked about, I don't know, long time ago when we were talking about why do Filipinos think that every foreigner that comes to the country was born with a silver spoon in their mouth? Same rules apply. It's just the thought process, man. It's hard to change mentality. So if they are under the assumption that the white guy has all the money, they're going to probably have a higher expectation for the white guys in the Philippines. They're going to have a higher expectation for you to come out of pocket more. They're going to believe that, you are the white knight, the savior, the person that's going to get them out of their dire straits and their dire situation, and that you're going to take them to the promised land. As a result, that requires better. That requires money. So for me, when I think about the white guy and whether they have the worst deal, it's not so much whether they have the worst deal, but I don't believe they have the best deal. Only because I think that some Filipinos will look at the white guy like money, like the ATM machine, like you are the lottery, like they hit the winning ticket. Now, with the black dudes, it's a little bit different. We'll get to that in a second. But it's like they hit that winning ticket. But you know what's crazy though? This is the thing that blows my mind the most. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but maybe you have, maybe you have not. I have seen some of the dustiest, brokest, Caucasian foreigners on God's green earth travel to the Philippines and still pull some punan. And they ain't got shit. They ain't got no money. They know they ain't got shit. Even the Filipino probably knows that by looking at this dusty dude that he ain't got no money, but yet and still he's still getting laid. So sometimes there's just like this flip of the switch wherein sometimes it doesn't even matter as long as you're white. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's this motivation that, fuck, I don't care whether you got money or not. As long as you're white, I'm going to give it to you. And you have some Filipinos with that mindset as well. So again, it's kind of like they do have the worst deal somewhat. And then sometimes they're at the low end of the spectrum. And there's a lot more guys in the country that have way more money than them from different ethnic backgrounds. But they still get laid. They still get some bad bitches. Or they get some bad Filipinos. Sorry. So it's kind of like flip-floppy, man. It kind of blows my mind a little bit. But overall, I would say that the foreigner is not necessarily getting the worst deal, because that's not the fair thing to say. But they're the ones that are perceived to have the money. And as a result of that perception of the white guy being the richest because he's from the promised land and all of that shit, you may have to come out of pocket more. But let's talk about my brothers. Let's talk about my fellow brethren, African American, African, etc., etc. Anybody who look like this. Let's talk about y'all real quick. Because the one thing that I notice about us, this is the truth. And y'all can sit there and deny this as much as you want to. But ladies and gentlemen, some of the brothers that I have seen, not seen, but seen, have been doing some shit that kind of throw me off a little bit. Now, the concept of the black guy in the Philippines, general, don't hold my hand to the flame. Don't cry, bitch, and moan about it. This is just a general synopsis of myself being a black guy and a foreigner. The black guy's not perceived to have much money, all right? The black guy's not necessarily perceived to have a lot of money. And you know what makes it worse? I feel like because, and this may be just stretch, but I believe that I'm stretching this the right way, the perception of the black guy not having a lot of money in the Philippines is forcing us as African American, African brethren to spend more as a result to show people that we actually have money. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to come in the form of flossing the rollie or walking around with the gold chain on and shit. It ain't gotta be nothing like that. It's just the fact that you're spending more to do more. And as a result, I do believe that my fellow African American brethren spend a little bit more than they have to as well. So if you're trying to figure out who's getting the better deal, it does necessarily depend on the situation, gentlemen. And the reason it depends on the situation is you got the black guy who's out here trying to prove to y'all, look, I got money like the white man do. Trust me, don't play me like I ain't stupid. You got some brothers out here trying to prove it like they got it like that because they're trying to prove to others that they got it like that. I mean, it's just the way that it is. Sometimes you may feel like the Filipina is shunning you because, oh, well, they don't think that you got money like the white man. So brothers will literally go out. And if they're in places where they feel like, you know, people are shitting on them because they feel like they ain't got no money, what do? They do this shit in the U.S., right? When you go to the, and this is just an example because this is the first thing that comes to mind, but you got, you know, brothers who go to the Louis Vuitton store or the place where they got Saks Fifth Ave. I think that's a chick place. I don't know. Anyway, whatever it is, you know, wherever black people shop. I don't know, man. I've been wearing the same shirt since 2018, so I don't know where y'all shop at. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know where you black people shop at. But anyways, whenever you black people who got a little bit of money go to the Louis Vuitton store, they go shop at, I don't know, Yves Saint Laurent's and all of that stuff, YSL, okay? And let's say the white person who's supposed to be serving you look at you like you ain't got shit, or they try to disown you or shun you, or they don't want to give you any service, right? So what do? You pull out your wad of money and shit. This is a fictitious wad of money. Just imagine this is like a whole bunch of hundreds and shit, right? Pull your money out and shit, and you're saying, bitch, I could buy this motherfucking stuff. This is my shit. I got it like that. Gang in this bitch, right? So you get this bravado like, yo, man, I got to show these white people that I got money. Same rules apply and mentality applies in the Philippines as well. But it's just the fact of showing people, yo, just because I may not look a certain way, I got money, I can still spend like that and I can still ball out of control. It blows my mind, people. It truly does. So I kind of feel like not all of us brothers do this, but you do have some that feel like they got to spend a little bit more to show that they got it like that, or that they really do have funds and that they really do come from means. You know what I'm saying? The smart ones don't worry about the gold chain and the rollies and stuff like that. They kind of do their shit a little bit different. But let's talk about the other in this group, okay? I've said this before in a video. But actually it was a live stream. I said there are a group of foreigners that have it just as worse, 10 times worse than us as blacks, black American and white Caucasian, you know what I'm saying, or whatever it may be, African too. There are some of us out there that have it. There are some people, a group of individuals that have it worse than us. And if you caught that live stream, you guys will remember I was talking about our fellow Indian brethren. And I don't want to go into details as to why that is. Most of the time, I do not see them trying to date Filipinas. Most of the time, when the Indian group of individuals come, especially when they came to Davao, they traveled in groups. So always a bunch of girls and boys and all of that stuff together. So they kind of dated within their own circle. It was very rare to see a Indian guy with a Filipina chick. And, you know, I think you guys understand the reason why that would possibly be. I don't need to go into details. If you were there to hear what was said and what needed to be talked about, you guys already know the answer as to why that may be complicated and difficult. So to an extent, there are some foreigners that no matter how much money you have, I mean, motherfucker, you got to be coming out the wazoo with some pad, with some serious money and some serious change in order to make a change. You know, sometimes it don't even matter about the money. Sometimes Filipinos, if they don't vibe with you, or they don't feel you, or they don't smell you, you know what I'm saying, like that, they ain't gonna rock with you, man. They just ain't gonna do it. And I have seen that with certain foreigners, that they just refuse to date. Like I said, got some Filipinas refuse to date black guys. Got some Filipinas that shun away white guys. Got some Filipinas that shun away the other guys, right? It's just a matter of preference. So in conclusion, if you wanna know who gets the best deal in the Philippines, none of us get the best deal in the Philippines, guys. It's none of the above. All right, we all get our fair deal. It's all about what you perceive to be fair in reference to the deal. It's all about how much money are you willing to spend in any capacity to get what you get out of it. That's pretty much what it's all about. So it's not so much about this person or this person or this person gets the fair deal. It's a matter of what you perceive to be fair. It's always going to be fair exchange, baby. It's always going to be fair exchange. So to what extent or what cap are you going to put on the amount of money that you spend in order to get what you need to get? You know what I'm saying? If, for example, if the white guy or the black guy and the Indian guy all walk in to a bar where they could bar fine chicks, I kind of feel like the price should always be the same across the board. I don't think that they're gonna lowball the black guy or the white guy, or, you know, I don't think that they're gonna shortchange themselves to an extent. They're not gonna lowball it and say, oh, well, for that girl, for you, it's 2,500. And then the next dude come in and they be like, nah, it's 2 bands or 2,000. They ain't gonna short themselves, right? Because they still trying to make money. It's a business, right? But I do believe that if the third person I said walk into the building, maybe that price might be just a little bit higher. Just saying. It could be. Maybe I'm wrong. But in fairness, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Comment section below. You know, what do you constitute as a good deal? You know what I'm saying? In fairness, what is fair exchange for you in reference to time spent in the Philippines, time spent with Filipinos in general? Who do you think gets the better deal? Do you believe that anybody gets the better deal? Do you believe that overall that it's this person, or none of us? All right? Definitely interested to hear what you guys got to say. With that being said, man, the good talk is officially out. At least now, oh God. I'm sorry. Good talk is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going down. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace. Shit.